Um, Friends, on this pink take-home test, what is the benefit of you? What benefit do you get with this take-home test? Yeah, you got to use it on the entire test, not just the last 10 minutes, the entire thing. Yep, from start to end. Sound good? All right. Last time we had class, we went through and we took a look at 1 through 8. So my friends, does everyone have this pink, the take-home test out? Is there anything on 1 through 8 that I need to go over in any more detail for you? Anything on 1 through 8 that I need? Yeah. 7 and 8, yeah. All right. So let's take a relook at both 7 and 8, okay? We'll put them both on here, and I have to stay plugged in right now because I forgot to charge this. Well, I'm here. Okay. All right. If I want to do f at 0, this means I'm going to replace the x with 0, and I just do the math behind it. Again, I'm going to replace this with 0, and so I wind up with just 3. Okay? If I had f at -5, is that what it was? So following the trend that I just did with the 0, what do you think I should do with the -5? Yeah, I'm going to plug it in for x. So then I get -2 times -5. And you all know that a negative times a negative is a positive, right? So this gives me an answer 15. Or this one, I'm going to take -5 and I'm going to plug it in here. And that gives me -2. Okay? So does that help you out? Cool. All right. Take a deep breath. If the person sitting next to you is talking, let them know they need to keep quiet. All right. That corner over there, settle it down. All right. I'm going to move on to number 9. Now I'm going to do the best I can to kind of draw number 9. I might fail, and I apologize. Now, this is 4, 3, 2, 5 up here, 0, 5, and -4, 1. Do you agree? That's what's kind of listed. Now I realize I don't have the XY axis there, but we should be able to do this. Now, this was a newer idea that we hit a few weeks ago, and then we kind of evacuated it. But let's make sure we know how to do this. Item 1. Item 1, listen carefully. Are there arrows on our sheet, on our picture? No. So if there's not arrows, that means it starts and stops. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you this. If there are arrows on page, and I'm going to put the S in parentheses. So you could have a single arrow, you could have a double arrow. Realize that as it goes left and down, it goes to -infinity. If it goes up and right, it goes to positive infinity. Okay, this is maybe a note that I would just put. This is a note I would put because it's very possible that you might have a problem tomorrow that might have one arrow on one of the ends. That's a hint. Okay, this one doesn't have arrows, so it starts and stops. But if it doesn't, it's very possible you might get a region of it that's going to go to negative or positive infinity. Okay, so the first thing says, where is this graph increasing? Okay, I'm going to try and do this, keep colors changing. So this is problem number A. Agree?
Yes.
So the only place it's increasing is here. Okay? So I've colored that for you so you can follow along. We are going to use the x values of our point, our x values of our points to describe this. So using the x values, where is my graph increasing? Yep. So from -4 to 0. Okay? All right. So now, being that we have dots, we're going to put hard brackets. Now, friends, come tomorrow. I'm not going to be too worried about the hard brackets. Can you take attendance? I never took attendance. I have to stay plugged in because I was unplugged too long.
No, you're good.
So it's charged for you.
Thanks.
Uh-huh. I don't think anyone came in tardy. Well, they might have, but I'm not worried about it. All right. Friends, are you okay with the increasing portion? So this and this dictate where it's increasing. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, do you have enough information written down for you on that? Feel good? Okay. All right. Let me go to letter B. Letter B we're going to do in black. And they want to know what f at 1 is equal to. I'm going to put a little thing here. This is an x value. Okay? So I'm going to look. First off, I'm going to look at my points. I'm going to look at my x value points. I have -4, 0, 2, and 4. Are any of those 1? Is -4, 0, 2, or 4? Any of those 1? No. So then I have to refer to my graph. I'm going to refer to my graph. And on my x-axis, I have 1 that's existing about here. So I'm going to take this straight up to the graph, and it's going to land there. So friends, take a look at where I put that dot. This dot right here. So at f at 1, what does it appear the y value will be? 5. It's done. Okay? So on that type of problem, if it has, hey, f at a certain number, take a look at your points first. If your points have that number, then you're going to go ahead and plug in whatever the y value is. If it doesn't, you have to go to your xy axis and go from that x value straight up or straight down and give me the y value of where it would cross. Okay? Hello? Letter C. We'll do an orange. Letter C. We want to do f at 3. So what was the first thing I said to do in this case? Look for the x value on any of my points. So I have -4, I have 0, I have 2, I have 4. Are any of those 3? Are any of my, no. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to find 3. I'm going to find 3 on my graph. So 3 is about here on my graph. So I'm going to take that 3 straight up. And this appears that it's going to hit at what number? Look on your graph. Tell me where this is going to hit. 4. Okay. Well, because I don't have the graph on here. But so if you look on your thing, go to 3 on the x, and then go straight up. Do you see how if you were to go to the left, you get to 4? That's all it is.
Oh, okay.
That make sense?
And if you look at the y from the last point,
Yeah, you kind of could, but just make sure you're, basically, this is what you're doing. Make sense? Where's this point? Where are these vertical and horizontal going to intersect? What y value? Okay? All right. Let's talk about letter, let's see, A, B, C, D. Letter D says f at x is equal to 1. Okay? So this 1 here is a y value. Agree? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at all of my points that are already up there. I'm looking only at the y value. Is there a y value of my points that are in blue that come out to be 1? Yeah. Which x value gives you that 1? -4. Okay? So let me just pause there for a moment. Take an honest look at A, B, C, and D. Take a look at your paper. Is there any notes that you need to write to yourself of how we did those problems? Notice I went to my points first to try and answer B, C, and D. And the only one that my points worked on for B, C, and D was D. If my points don't work, then I have to look either in the x direction and go up to the y, or look at the y direction and go to the x to see where it might give me the opposite value. Okay? Friends, do you feel okay? Now, the next two things for the domain and range, if we have end points and we don't have arrows, we're going to have numbers. If we have arrows, it's very possible we're going to have infinity or negative infinity someplace in our answer. Do you have a question? You good? All right. So let's change to pink. All right. So A, B, C, D, E. I'm on letter E now. Okay, letter E. We want the domain. Friends, is the domain the x or the y? X. Okay. I have points. I have endpoints. I don't have arrows. Agree? Okay, so what is my furthest left x value? -4. What is my furthest right x value? So that's the furthest left. What's my furthest right? So we're just using the x values. And these are going to actually be hard brackets. Now again, friends, when it comes to tomorrow, I'm not too worried about you getting it versus hard and soft bracket. That's not like the most vital thing for me. But if you have from -4 to 4, you're going to get it correct. Okay? For letter E, oh, that's pretty. I'll go with that one. For letter F, this is the range. What is the range? X or Y? That's the Y value. So again, maybe make a little notation that the range is the Y value. Now the range goes from the bottom to the top. If you have arrows, it's very possible it could be a negative infinity or a positive infinity in one of the locations. But because we have points, we don't have arrows at all. What is my lowest Y value? 1. Good. What is my highest Y value? 5. So it's this one or this one. It doesn't matter which one. They're both the same location, but that's how I do my range. And then, let's see. Find another color I haven't used. How about a really bright green? Letter G. Where is our graph positive? Okay, this means above the x-axis. All of it is. So we're going to use our x values to tell us. So going from left to right, where is this positive? Using the x values. -4 to 4, perfect. And I'm going to use hard brackets, but again, I'm not too worried about if you have the hard or the soft brackets down pat. Friends, that is a lot of meat and potatoes to a question. Agree? Do you have the notes you need on your pink sheet that's going to help you?
So, like, for example, do you have, when it asks, determine the domain, did you write in parentheses, that means the x value?
Yes.
When you write for range, did you write down it's the y value?
Yeah.
Did you go for B and C when it has F1 and F3, that technically you were trying to find the y value to look in the graph? That's what we mean is, do you have those tiny little notes to remind you of all those tiny little details?
So this problem on the test tomorrow will probably take you the longest on the entire test. Just one. It's similar. I will tell you there will be one arrow. Huh? 455,283. Yeah, it's worth a lot. Probably 8 or 9 points. Yeah.
Why does it stop increasing at 4? When you go to -4, and like, how come it wouldn't it stop at 5?
So the pitch, okay. It stops at the 5 in the y direction, but where it's increasing, you're saying you're using the x to describe what the graph is doing. It's increasing between these two values of x. Okay, so you don't use the y value to determine that. That's a great question.
So it decreases 1 down below.
Do what?
So it decreases at the point below.
So it's decreasing from 2 to 4. Yeah. All right. Have we covered this problem? So now, my friends, it's very possible that you would be able to get 2 or 3 of these correct, and that's points. Okay? Get some points. If you get to this problem, say, I'm just going to leave it blank. I bet you know how to do a little bit of it, if not all of it.
How many points is it worth total?
I'd say 8, maybe 8 or 10. Let's see, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Actually, I'd probably make it worth 14.
14?
2 points for A, 2 points for B, C, D, E, F, G. So try and get as many points as you can. If you get 10 out of the 14 points, that doesn't mean you failed the test. That means you've got 10 points towards your grade. This type of problem is probably the most amount of points on the whole test. Okay? So don't panic. Don't panic. Don't let it go beside you.
If you've been taking notes and you've been paying attention, you're going to do fine, right?
Okay. I am on the back page, the second page, so the back of the front. Does this make sense? Now, the main thing that this is looking for, I'm not going to use this green any longer. The main thing that we're looking for, I would make sure I have this written down on this page. This is the slope equation. Okay, make sure you have that on this second page. Okay, off to the side Something that you know you can refer to it, okay? So for problem number 10, they give us XY values. You have -5 and you have 7. You have -3, you have 4. You have -1 and 1. You have 1 and -2. Okay. When you get to this type of problem, you don't have to go find the slope like you don't have to find the slope 10 times. Okay, yeah.
Don't you just like find the difference of like the x and like the y? So,
Yep. So
but then why not be like
Do-
y?
do me a favor. Pick for me -5, 3, -1, or 1. Your choice.
-1 and 1,
Okay. And pick me another one.
and then -5 and 7.
Okay. Okay. So you can pick whatever 2 points you want. It's going to be the same. Okay. So on this particular problem, I'm going to realize I have -5, 7, and I also have -1, 1 that I picked. Okay. And you can do the same thing on tomorrow's test. Say, oh, we picked the first and the third. I don't know why we picked the first and third, but we did. Okay, do it. Doesn't matter. So once you get in and start doing this, you're going to label your point x1, y1, x2, y2. And then we're going to find the slope. y2 is, what did I label y2?
1,
1. There's a minus sign. What did I label y1?
7,
Over, okay, what did I label x2? Minus, what did I label x1? Okay, so I have a negative, negative. That makes a sign change, right? So doing the math, and you have your calculator, right? So you go 1 minus 7, it gives you an answer of -6. Agree? You know that this is going to be a positive, so -1 plus 5 is 4. Now, you go and you take a look at the answers A, B, C, D, E, F. Do I have an answer of -6 over 4?
wait,
Yeah, why'd you choose -3 over 2? I love that. Yeah, so you might have to reduce. If you reduce it, you're going to get -3 over 2. Bless you. If you get -3 over 2, that means that this answer is going to be answer letter C. And then I'm going to put here, cross off C. Cross off C. Okay? Now, the reason we're crossing off, we might come to one of the problems where we're like, I don't know how to find the slope. Oh, you crossed off all the other letters. You only have one letter left. Oh, there's your answer. I'm not going to have any of these repeat. Okay? So that's why I put this little note, little disclaimer. Cross off the one you used. Now, please don't be the kid that's going to label A down on every one of the problems going, dude, I got one right. Yeah, you're right. Okay? All right, can I move off this one? Do what? There's always one kid that's going to do it. Who knows? Problem number 11. So friends, they want to know what the slope of this would be. That's my slope. Slope is attached to x. So my slope is 2. Do you have an answer of 2? Yeah, this is letter A. Cross off A. So now we have C crossed off. Now we have A crossed off. That's like, ta-da, here you go. Okay? Did everyone have that written down? I'm sorry. Let's go to number 12. Number 12. What's the slope of this? It is, I love you for saying that. It is indeed the cover method, but I don't have a graph. The cover method finds me 2 points. But yeah, let's put a question mark on this and let's come back to it. Because you know what? You know what? If we went and crossed off, if we're able to do all the rest of the problems and crossed off all the rest of the letters, we already have A and C crossed off, agree? So if you get to this one, like, I don't know how to find the slope on that. We'll put a little question mark on this one, and let's come back to it. So let's go to number 13. So they have this as a point, and they have this as a point. Agree? So we know the slope equation is this. What was the next step? Label them. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Excuse me. Let's figure out the slope. Y2 we said was? Y2 we labeled as? We have a minus sign. What is Y1? What is X2? We have a minus sign. What is X1? Oh, we have another negative, right? So something's going to happen here. So with our calculator, we can go -1 minus 3. It's going to give us -4. This is going to be a plus. 1 plus 2 is 3. Do I have an answer of -4/3? Yeah.
Could you do that just by like going up and down?
You could. If you want to count it, count up or down first, and then right or left second.
So I went over points.
No. That's a great way to do it. Okay.
So then that would be technically 3 because you have negative right next to each other.
Okay. So far we have A, C, and E crossed off, right? So we're keeping in mind, hey, we still have a question mark on number 12, right? So I think we're doing okay. We're going to come back to that number 12 we're not sure about. Number 14, they just give us 2 points. Okay, we know our slope equation's this. So I'm going to label and do the math. Y2 we said was 6. There's a minus sign. Y1 we said was 6 over. X2 we said was -4. There's a minus sign. X1 we said was 2. 6 minus 6 this day is 0. 0 over -6. Okay, so let's say you can't remember which one's undefined and which one isn't. So on our calculator, if you didn't remember this, you're going to go 0 divided by -6. Okay? So on your calculator, you're going to plug in the top divided by the bottom. And if you did that on your calculator, it's going to come out to 0. If your calculator, if you plug it in and you got error, that means it's undefined. Okay, but we got 0. 0 is letter F. Cross off letter F. So now we have A, C, E, and F. Agree? Number 15. I'm just going to put for number 15. All vertical lines have a slope equal to undefined. Okay? Oh, that's letter D. Now, I'm also going to put a second note. All horizontal lines have a slope equal to 0. Okay? Now, I might do this. I might draw a vertical line to remind me vertical goes up and down. I would put that extra set of notes there and say horizontal goes left, right. Okay? I would make sure I have that written on this packet. Okay? So now that means that we've used the following letters. We used A, we used C, we used D, we used F. Did we use F? Did we use E? So friends, remember that one that we had a question on, number 12? Yeah.
I'm getting a little nervous for my people who aren't writing notes down. Because here's the thing. We get this test. You guys have access to this for all tests long. So if we get a test back and you guys bombed it, you guys had your answer sheet right there, we're gonna have a conversation because that's pretty worrisome, right? That's why we're having you guys write everything down.
Okay, so friends, what I am not sure about what the slope is for number 12. I got confused on the test. But what's the only letter that we have left?
B.
So it has to be B. Do you see how we just used a little critical thinking to get the answer? We didn't even have to work this problem out. Now, for those of you who wanted to work it out, you could say, well, we could do the cover method. We could go 0, blank, blank, 0, and we could get -2 here. We could get 4 here, x1, y1, x2, y2. Slope equation's this. And you do the slope and you say, okay, I got 0 minus 2, 4 minus 0, minus 2 is 2, 4 minus 0 is 4, reduce, 1 over 2. Is that the answer? B?
Yeah.
So this is the work. If you didn't show your work on this one, I'm okay with that. Okay, it's a matching problem. This technique I just showed you is something that you could legitimately use on like an ACT or an SAT. Because they could care less what you've written down. They're looking for what you bubble. Yeah. Oh, sure. That's another great technique. Absolutely. I like it. Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of methods we can get to it. All right. So, friends, I'm not going to have quite enough time to go over 16 through 24. But what I will do, I'm going to go as far as I can, but then I'll hit pause when it's time to go. But I will finish the rest of the problems, and it'll be on video. Where is this video going to live? Yeah, it lives on YouTube. So you go to Schoology, you click the link, goes to YouTube, and then you make sure you write down your notes. But these are all things that we have done. But I'm going to get as far as I can in the 9 minutes. Okay? So number 16. How is this one set up to do? This is cover. Okay, now I can't guarantee that number 16 on the test is also a cover method, but number 17 might be. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what makes this cover method? X and Y are on the same side. So cover method, you're going to go in, you're going to say 0, comma, blank, blank, comma, 0. Whatever x, y axis. Okay, so if I cover up my x, -3 times what number gives me 6? -3 times what number gives me +6? -2. So 0, -2 down here. Cover method with this. So 2 times what number gives me 6? 3. 3, 0. Do I have 2 dots? Yeah, here's my graph. Make sure you put an arrow on both sides, please. Is it wrong if you don't? I'm going to shave your eyebrows off if you don't.
Does it have to be like a straight line?
Yes.
Yeah, everything's going to be straight. I mean, do the best you can to make it straight. If you don't have a straight edge, use your ID as your straight edge to make it as straight as you can.
If it's not straight, then you mark it out.
If it's close to straight, you're going to be fine. You give me some sort of curve, you give me this for an answer, I don't think you got it, okay? All right, number 17. So this is set up to find the y-intercept. What's the y-intercept? Yeah, it's 0, comma, -1. All right. What's my slope? Yeah, that's my slope. So I'm going to use my slope as a map. From the point that I've already drawn, I'm going to go up 1, and then I'm going to go right 3. And this just happened to give us both the x and the y intercepts. But there's my line. Now, friends, it's very possible number 17 might not be set up this way. Number 16 might be set up this way. Okay, so you might have to seek it out a little bit. You have to recognize that we can write these lines in different methods. Friends, do you have enough information there to feel comfortable about it?
Wait, do you want to like the cover?
Yeah, we just did number 16 was cover. And then number 19 will be as well. And number 23. Okay. All right, here we go. Number 18. How is this one set up? How's this one set up? Point slope. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to highlight this. Okay, so my point is going to be -6, +2. But I'm going to put a note. Be sure opposite signs. Does that make sense? It was a +6 in the original problem. When I took it out of the original problem, it became -6. When I took -2 out of the original problem, it became +2. So -6, +2, right there. Okay? Friends, what's my slope?
1/2.
Yeah, it's 1/2. So from my point, I'm going to go up 1, right 2. There you go. Okay, so we did one cover, we did one as slope intercept, or point, or y-intercept with slope, and we did one that was a point that we found first and slope. The point that we find first is in parentheses. You have parentheses as part of the problem. So maybe you put this. When you see parentheses, get the point. Yeah, you can write it anywhere on this you want. When you see parentheses, get the point. If you don't see parentheses, you're not looking to get a point. You might be asked to find the y-intercept, but it's not like in point slope. Number 19. How is number 19 set up to do? Okay, so this is a cover method. What's the first thing we do with cover method? 0, comma, blank, blank, comma, 0. Yes? All right. So negative y equals 6. So what do I have to plug in to y to make it become 6? If I plug 1 in for y, I get negative y, or negative 1 equals 6. Negative 6. Very good. Negative negative 6 is equal to 6. And then the other one, x equals 6. Done. Done. Okay, for number 20, we have y is equal to negative 3/4 x plus 1. We know the y-intercept on this one. The y-intercept is going to be 0, comma 1. Go ahead and plot that. Put your dot. And then we know this, attached to the x, that's my slope. So for my point, I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go right 1, 2, 3, 4. Connect your points. It's all done. Problem number 21. Y plus 4 equals negative x plus 2. Friends, we see parentheses. Parentheses mean, I see parentheses. It means I need to figure out some point. Okay? Remember, I'm going to take the opposite of that. And I'm going to take the opposite of that. So negative 2, negative 4 is right down here. We need to look for the slope. We have to recognize there should be a negative 1 right there. Okay, that's my slope. My slope is negative 1 over 1. So from this point, I'm going to go down 1, right 1. Connect the points. Put arrows on both ends. There you go. Number 22, we have an inequality. Okay, we still graph them the same way, but remember, we have to note this is going to be dotted. It's going to be dotted because if I have this or this, that's dotted. If I have this or this, it'll be solid as far as the line goes. So we can graph this. This is one of our special cases. X equals a number. Well, I'm going to count in the x direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put a dot, and this is going to become a vertical dotted line. Remember we said it was dotted in the beginning. If you have dotted versus solid, that is worth a point. Okay? Now, I want values that are less than 6. So values that are less than 6 goes this way. So this is the region I shade. If it was greater than, I would shade the other side of the line. Don't be that kid that shades it in nonstop. Please, just sketch a little graph like that to make sure we know he's shaded that way. Problem 23. We have 2x plus 6y is less than 12. First thing, is this going to be solid or dotted? Hopefully you spoke to yourself and said it's dotted. Okay, this is set up also to do the cover method. X and y are on the same side. So this is going to be the cover method. So I'm going to write 0, comma, blank, blank, comma, 0. Draw my XY axis. And let's work it out. So I'm going to cover up my x. So 6y, 6 times what number gives me 12? 6 times 2 gives me 12. So 0, comma, 2. Then I'm going to, that's a y value, so 2 times what number gives me 12? That's going to be 6. We have 2 points. We said dotted. Okay, now we want to make sure we have our test point. 0, 0 is definitely down here. Agree? So I'm going to take that xy value. I'm going to plug 0 in here. I'm going to plug 0 in here. 2 times 0 is 0. 6 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. Is 0 less than 12? That's true. That means the side that 0, 0 is on is true. You're going to shade the side that 0, 0 is on in this case. If it was false, I would shade the other side of the line. And then problem number 24. Okay, so this is going to be a solid line because I have that line right there. That makes it solid. I know the y-intercept is going to be 0, comma, negative 7. 5, 6, 7. I know this is my slope. So from this point, I'm going to go up 1, right 2. And we said it was solid, right? Because it's an inequality, we want to go to 0, 0. 0, 0 is definitely on the top part of this line. We're going to plug 0 in for the y. We'll plug 0 in for x, so I get half times 0. Well, that's going to be easy. That's 0. So is 0 bigger than 0 minus 7? Is 0 bigger than negative 7? Yes. So we're going to shade the side of the line that 0, 0 is on, because that gave us a true statement. That means any point that I pick up in this region up here, any point I pick up in this region right here is true, so I shade up top. Okay, have a great day. Write down the notes you need. Make sure you bring this take-home test home or back to class because you get to use it on the entire test.